Good evening, all. We are live with Crone's Crucible again. We are glad to see you back. We are coming to the end of our story, and exciting things are happening. The team is in the Vault of Dragons, hoping to find great wealth and wonderful things occurring. So, let me see here.
Got off a 10.5-hour shift from work.
I did one of those recently.
And thank you for introducing us to your tonsils, Mink.
I was trying to clean my camera.
Yeah, I heard a spray bottle and a little paper, which does the trick even better.
I had neither of those on hand.
Well, you know what? That's not my problem. That's not a you problem.
It's like a you problem.
Well, now it's a you problem, because you were the ones forced to look at my tonsils.
Hey, man,
You made
look,
it our
you might want to go
problem,
see a
man.
doctor then, because something was a little funky down there.
Outdone again.
Okay.
I'm not an expert, but you may want to go see a professional.
There we go. Okay, now it's showing. All right, so as we pick up tonight, the team has, after a little mishap last week with a fresco on a wall, they have found their way up into the upper level. They had seen a bridge overhead, and apparently they've gone up to that level as best as they can tell. And they have paused in the entrance hallway into this thing because they're trying to evaluate exactly what's going on and what's giving right now. They're not sure quite what's happening. They don't see anything or hear anything. There's just eerie quiet in the background. Occasionally you hear a pebble fall, but there doesn't seem to be any footsteps or any noises. And so you are evaluating your circumstances and figuring out what you're going to do going forward. I will turn it over to the crew as they step into this large hallway that has the hammer-shaped pillars holding up the roof.
Can
20 feet above them.
I try to make a perception check to hear any sounds?
You may.
Then
Just
I would
waiting for
assume.
Roll20 to load.
Excuse me. And then I would assume my detect magic would still be up since it's a 10-minute thing, and I would assume the downstairs probably wouldn't have taken any more than 5 minutes.
You had to beat down that fresco, had to smash it, but I would say you probably still have a few minutes remaining. And one of the things that you notice as you use this detect magic is that it almost feels like the spell is bouncing off the walls. And you very quickly can tell this entire structure is heavily warded in some way. It is very likely that spells will have difficulty penetrating it. You can suspect that probably it was warded against detection and finding, so that people couldn't dig through to it at some point in time. But you have a background sense of magic emanating from the walls, not in a dangerous sense, but in a warding sense.
I would be careful moving forward. I sense a lot of magic in these halls.
What kind of magic?
Warding magic.
Cassian will look around and I know you said what this looked like last time, but I just want to be absolutely certain what he makes of this, of the architecture.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much, even if you were wrong, you look at this and you would see dwarven architecture in what you're looking at. The pillars look like Hammer of Moradin type of structures. It almost looks as if this was some hallowed hall to Moradin or something like this, because these hammers are an ever-present symbol that you're seeing on a lot of things. If you have actually stepped into the physical hall where you can see around you just a bit, Then you also notice that on the western wall, there is a very long mural that runs almost the entire length of the hall south of you. The mural depicts, it's cracked in places, and I'll describe more about how it's cracked and what's going on with it in a moment, but it depicts a large, what looks almost like a dwarven god who is hammering at an anvil. And coming forth from the anvil are dwarves that appear to be made out of a black metal and diamonds. They are like springing forth out of this anvil as the god is hammering on it. You also would notice that there is one section of the wall about 55 feet south of you. There's a section of wall that looks like it has, some of the mural has fallen off, and there's pebbles and parts of it laying on the tile floor. And then the mural stops rather abruptly, but not like it's broken, when you get down to the south end. About the last 10 feet of the hall do not have any mural on it. So you have this one broken section that's about 20 feet wide, and you have a section at the end of the hall that looks like that's just where the mural stopped. To the east, to what, as you look south, it would be to your left, but it's to the east, you would notice 3 hallways going off on this. And you can see that this is a raised platform without banisters. You can look down onto the floor where you were below and see the entrance door and where you came in. If you remember looking up and seeing the bridgework above you, you can guess these bridgework pieces that are extending off to the east are those bridgework pieces you saw before.
All right.
Can I roll a religion check to see if I can discern what the mural is supposed to be depicting?
Yes.
Okay. Because I have a feeling I know OC, but let's see how much I know IC.
Even with a 9, you know just enough about dwarven culture to know that they have various god myths that were supposed to have constructed the dwarves out of stone and diamonds. Exactly which god this might represent, you're not entirely sure, but it fits in with the general lore and mythology that everybody kind of knows about dwarves, that they were supposed to have been created right out of rock and stone.
Ooh, dwarven creation myth.
Did I pick up anything with my roll of 19?
And you were...
Or is it just dead silence?
Yeah, that was for too so much going on, I forgot what the roll was for. Yes, it is. Occasionally, as I say, even when you listen hard, all you hear is an occasional miscellaneous pebble, and as you get around the corner, you might even occasionally see a pebble falling off where this mural is broken. There's just occasionally kind of in a very overtly silent vault, the sound of a pebble dropping is almost startlingly loud, and it echoes around the place. So it the silence is extreme.
Well, at the very least, I believe we are alone here.
So you say, for right now.
Well, we're not going to get anywhere just by standing. I suppose there's only one way to go.
Varys is going to be keeping an eye out for any sort of traps as he makes his way forward.
Vel kind of stays close to the wall and low, trying to keep an eye out for everything. She's gone into kind of a stealth mode as she goes. And you notice that even Jarlaxle and his drow cohort that he's got with him, his minion, they are also being very, very careful, looking around corners, listening, and trying to see if there's anything that has them on edge as well. So they're all three of the ones that are along with you are paying a lot of attention to what's going on, and they seem very nervous.
Having observed that, I'll take my time going through, but of course, unfortunately, armor is not the exact subtlest of armors. At least in the what she's got on. So she's just going to like kind of move slow, so the plate shifts are a little less planky.
Yep, make as few fast movements as you can to not make it any worse. What's Epiphany's not available at the moment.
Yeah.
We'll say he's just bringing up the rear.
Yep. So after you kind of took a look at this mural, Rell, what kind of things are you doing as you move forward? Rellian?
I'm sorry, dog got distracted. What was that?
What kind of things is Rell doing? He took a look at this mural, and what is he doing as he moves forward?
So these appear to be dwarven ruins. Could I roll a history check to see how much I know about, like, did dwarves enjoy putting traps in their mountain homes, or were they a little more welcoming, or should we be looking for hidden mechanisms, stuff like that?
Or did they have a king under it?
Doom, doom, doom.
Hey, Appos joined us.
Go ahead and give a history check. None of you are dwarves, so
Ooh.
none of you have any special advantage, but that's a mighty good roll there, partner. Yes, you are aware that dwarves are reputed to have loved mechanisms. And whether they were traps or even the entrances into their buildings, they loved to have techniques. They admired techniques, and there were always things involved with getting into the buildings. The door and its odd entrance where you had to present 3 keys is a perfect example of the kinds of things that they might do. It is the mural that was ensorcelled is also a perfect example of the kind of thing that they might put. They don't have the kind of overt traps that the typical Waterdavian thief might think of, but they love to have the little thing that just threw you off or kept you from getting into your final destination. That was very typical of them.
Speak, friend, and enter.
Pretty much.
But Rillian would pretty much say this. Okay, so we're in Dwarven Ruins, obviously.
Mhm.
We, from what I can tell, we've been in Dwarven Ruins since we came to that door. Jarlaxle, has anyone ever known that ancient Dwarven Ruins are located underneath this city?
There certainly are. There's rumors and myths of dwarven ruins existing under most of the Sword Coast, but people have dug and dug. I mean, I'm drow. The Undermountain is full of, the Underdark is full of the dwarven ruins and things that go on down there. But as far as anyone actually encountering them, no, I don't have any knowledge of this sort of thing, but it is not beyond my guesstimating that probably Lord Neverember would have utilized already existing structures in the process of hiding the wealth.
One, I love that word, guesstimating. I'm using that. Two, yeah, that seems to be my guess too. Never Ember found this place, didn't tell a soul, and used it as his hidey hole, or someone used it as their hidey hole. And since we are in very old and surprisingly well-preserved ruins of the dwarvish people, or the furthest dwarvish ancestors I can see.
Dwarves built things to last.
Yep. Look. So the way forward is probably not going to be very obvious. Dwarves love their mechanisms. Dwarves love their machines and trinkets and doodads. Look out for traps, and also
Barris starts feeling the wall next to him.
And also look for anything. They wouldn't hide it per se, but they wouldn't make it obvious.
I know, I can tell you this much. It is well known that dwarves love keying many of their things to their own kind, and many of the revelations are only shown if you are dwarven, and we have no dwarves among us.
Does it require a dwarf, or does it require a dwarven body or a dwarven soul?
Can be either. At times it is only
Oh, no.
At times it is only the illusion of one that is needed.
I remember.
Epi,
I think
your time has come.
Yep.
Perfect.
He did eat a dwarf once.
Oh, which one was that?
So, we believe we consumed a Durga, was it not?
Oh, that's right, down there. Well, if you think this will work.
At some point. Do we require it at this moment? Forgive us, we've been arguing with ourselves.
Oh, perhaps let's hold it until we find ourselves without another option.
Well,
Sorry,
let's
so,
look
so I just
towards
got so I just got back. Like, what's the situation?
we are in dwarven ruins, and there is a large mural on one wall, and we're on the second floor right now.
It depicts their creation myth of their gods literally hammering them into existence from the stone and from precious materials.
I've also detected a lot of warding magic, so we're trying to be careful not to do too much of anything.
And Rell just warned everyone that the way forward, like, it's going to probably involve a mechanism of some sort, not hidden, but probably not obvious, and look out for traps, because dwarves like their mechanisms of all kinds.
Could we use the legend lore of Golor to get any further information about the specific location?
No, when you question him, about all he gets, you will get from him is a kind of a head shaking, because he was basically empowered at the door.
So he's never actually been in here, so there's no experience to draw on.
He has no experience to draw on within the vault itself.
Got it.
Cassian does have knowledge about traps, so he can look for any subtle hints at where they are.
So,
We currently have like 4 or 5 people looking out for traps right now.
so yeah, maybe Lou Boy and Cece, maybe you guys take the lead. You guys have the best eyes among us when it comes to trappy traps. The rest of us, I guess, just be on the lookout for something that looks like it could maybe even lead to a door.
All right, so Cassian will start looking for traps in a more hands-on fashion.
Very good.
He's going to be very slow about this.
All right. And give me on your investigation roll, within the next 30 or 40 feet, you don't see anything that looks like it would be anything that would spring forward. It seems fairly good down to possibly the second bridge opening there.
All right, so he'll move forward slowly. And when he gets to the 30-foot mark, he'll say, no traps here.
What are we looking at here?
Something. It appears that something has broken the wall or possibly even eaten away at the wall. You can see on the floor pieces of the mural that were once there, but something has caused the wall to disintegrate in some way at that location. All you see is dirt beyond. You don't see any opening, but there's a very odd hollow in that area, as if something bashed it, ate at it, caused it to fall off the wall. You're not quite sure what's going on.
Anything I can roll to discern that? Like,
investigate?
I'm asking if I can.
So, Lyric, what specialties do you have that might add to any investigation? This might be a very specific investigation roll.
Well, I mean, he's a member of the Harpers. I don't know if there's anything specific that could really help him investigate this.
Cassian may.
What would Cassian have that you think would add to this?
He's had a few years of investigating experience, and in the times he would have seen, well, people using magic irresponsibly, maybe even destroyed parts and pieces of the city, like stone structures, like the streets.
Give me a roll. It'll be a fairly high investigation roll, but give me an investigation roll on it, and let's see what you discern.
1, 2, 3. Dang.
The only thing that you can determine is that you don't think this was bludgeoning damage. This looks like it was damage caused by something other than bludgeoning. You don't see any hammer marks or anything that indicates it was struck by something heavy.
After looking at the damage on the wall, Cassian just purses his lips in a sort of fashion. Well, whatever did this didn't use it with a hammer or anything, or a fist. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say claws. And I'm not a fan of that idea.
Oh no, there's a monster to kill.
We don't know that yet. Might just be
Valkyrie's
rare
still in
and-
the mood to hit things. Varys is going to start making his way down this hallway.
All right.
Can I... never mind.
Go ahead, Cassian. What are you
Oh,
going to
can
do?
I at least see bits and pieces of the mural that I can at least see that have an interesting look to them?
There doesn't appear to be anything unusual about the pieces of mural that are laying there. They just appear to have chipped off the wall kind of randomly. And as best when you hold it up and look and kind of fit it in, it just looks like more of the creation myth, but a section of it got somehow or other damaged over time.
No way to discern it?
Nothing that you can tell on those pieces that look like that's like an event occurred here that somebody wanted to destroy. It just looks like it's more lines of dwarves and more of the known creation myth.
Well, nothing we can do now.
Does Varys see any traps going down this hallway?
Give me an investigation roll with your...
You mean
Is
the
it
bridge?
possible to give a perception check
Yeah,
instead?
It's a narrow walkway 60 feet above the floor before you. What about the perception investigation?
Am I able to use a perception check instead?
It would be a much more general thing rather than looking carefully at the floor, but yes.
Because my investigation is 1, my perception is 7.
As you look ahead, the only thing that you are able to determine with that, you notice that a section of this, and as you look across to the other sections of bridge, you can see there's been damage in some of these other sections as well. But you notice that the bridge ahead of you, or the narrow parapet ahead of you, has broken off, fallen apart, disassembled over time, and it is very narrow, possibly only down to like 4 feet in width in a place, and probably very unsteady going across there. But you don't see anything you would call a trap. You can definitely say that doesn't look safe, but you don't see anything that you would call a true trap.
Okay. There's no points that look particularly weak or anything like that?
Some of the narrowest parts you would be able to use your judgment to say, we're going to have to be really careful going across that. And you can clearly see that the bridge, parapet, walkway, whatever, next to you has fallen completely apart. You'd have to jump across it to get across it, or lay some kind of boards across.
So I'm looking down at where we just were?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I think the way they've got this, let me look at their dynamic lighting. No, they've got it okay. Yeah, they're fine.
Oh yeah, because you can see like the faded tile below.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
So yeah.
I am.
So you're looking across at the other parapets. There are 3 of them that go across to doors on the opposite side. And one of these walkways is completely dissolved in the middle. 2 of them appear to have had a lot fall off over the years, or due to some circumstance or whatever.
Okay. I am going to, staying very well in the middle of the bridge, start making my way across. Be careful going across these. It seems like it might be. It might fall apart if it has too much weight on it.
Then I think we might want to find a different path, or find a way to secure this one.
The thing looks out 7 feet tall. We would prefer a different path as well.
Question
I don't
to DM.
know if there are any other paths.
There are the other doors downstairs.
Question to the DM. So, like, you said these are bridges?
Yeah, they're
So that
Walkways.
means these are not walls. We could actually see the other bridges.
yes.
Yeah,
You can see
okay.
all the way across all 3 of those. And these are narrow, 10-foot wide bridges, parapets, walkways. Cassian, give me a perception roll. You notice that some of the mural where it was broken, more of the rocks are starting to fall off. And as they fall, for one moment, very slightly, they don't move ahead, Lyric, please.
Oh, sorry.
As they fall off very slightly, you notice for one split second they almost appear to be molten, and then they very quickly solidify back up and drop onto the floor as pebbles. Something seems to be disturbing the rocks in the broken mural area.
Cassian turns around and sees this happening, and he reflexively puts his hand on his rapier, and he calls out to the party, there's apparently something behind this mural.
You need me to break more paintings?
Here's a crazy
No.
question. Is the mural actually there, or are we just seeing something that's not?
I don't know.
That's more of a question for the more magically inclined, but...
Could just go and touch it.
No.
I'm not going to be mean, though. Nope, never mind.
Look, there's some
You know what? I'll do it.
Just be careful, please.
Yeah, be careful as I get away from you.
So I'm going to place my hand on the mural. I'm going to run my gloved hand along the surface, and I would like to roll 2 rolls, if I may. One, I want to roll an Arcana roll to see if I can sense anything, and 2, I want to roll an investigation roll to see if I notice anything odd about the mural. Like maybe there's subtle clues in it that it might be directing us somewhere.
Give me them one at a time, and we'll deal with them one at a time, because doing two kinds of investigations at the same time would be non-intuitive. So give me whichever one you're going to do first.
Well, first let's find out if I can sense anything, because that's what I do. Nope. I've got proficiency in that, and I always fail it. I don't understand.
About the only thing you can determine is that you just a logic roll. Just as you look at this mural, you notice that it's very much directed south, with all this line of dwarves coming off the anvil and marching south. But other than that, if that means anything, you're not.
Well, that was the Arcana roll to see if I sensed anything about it. Like, okay, so I'm going to turn to Nocari and says, "Okay, it's real."
Yep.
So there's that.
At least that's something.
Physically, the only thing that you notice is there's a very slight bas relief to it. It's actually rounded a little bit so that the dwarves kind of have a little bit of realistic shadow to them as they are on this mural. It wasn't just a painted mural. They actually worked the stone a bit to it. So
it's like engraved and grooved.
They love their masonry.
Yes.
Can I roll the second one now?
Yes.
All right, investigation to see if there's anything unusual. That's a bit better.
Yep. And about the fact that this mural seems very directed, as if the dwarves are all marching south, is about the only thing you can glean out of it. You don't see anything that's out of the norm for the myth itself. They sprang forth from the anvil. They were created by the god's hammer, and they marched forth into the world. That is true. But this mural doesn't depict them like spreading out across the world. It just depicts them in a line, one after the other, marching south in an almost stylized Egyptian form.
So Aurelian is going to look at the dwarves. He's going to look south. He's going to point at the dwarves. He's going to point south. He's then going to point at the god creating them on the anvil. He's going to point south. He's just going to keep doing this for a little while until he finally says, "Dwarves are going somewhere."
All right.
Perhaps it's the southernmost bridge that we need?
Hearing that, I start walking again.
Give me a dexterity roll as you cross that narrow section.
Dexterity roll. Let me see if I have anything that can help me real quick. It's dexterity save or dexterity check?
Dexterity. You gotta see. It is a dexterity check. It is a dexterity check.
So could I use acrobatics?
Yes.
All right. Hey, 25.
Nice.
Okay, you tiptoe deftly like the performer that you are across this little narrow section. Also give me a perception roll as you go across it to see if you notice anything about the deterioration.
Nope.
Nope.
You're busy serving your
That's
cookie.
quite
Yeah.
the spectrum.
You are so busy walking.
I only rolled 20s or 1s.
You are so busy walking the tightrope that you weren't paying attention to anything about the masonry itself. But you have successfully managed to get across that narrow section.
Alrighty. And now that I'm within 30 feet, I am going to cast Mage Hand, and I'm going to let the Mage Hand go all the way to the door in front of me and see if it can push it open.
Very good. I've got to check something. Just 1 second.
Roll for 2 characters. We have to go pull from hell.
I'm
Father
gonna
and
make
son, you reunited.
This is what This is what I should have done last week with the fresco downstairs: is cast Mage Hand to poke at it.
All right, so you are poking at the door.
Well, no, I'm going to see if I can push open the door, or if I can see a lever, try to have the hand pull on the lever.
The door is a single unit, and it does not move with the mage hand. It doesn't seem to move in the slightest, no matter how hard you push on the 10 pounds that it can manage. Nothing moves on the thing. There is a very stylized picture of an anvil with a hammer propped up across it on this door. And as you look across, the door that you can see next to you to the north has exactly the same symbol on it. In fact, all three doors, as the group of you look at your various doors, all three doors have this anvil with a hammer stylized behind it.
And there's no difference between the anvil and the hammer. It's all the same exact picture.
It's a bas-relief kind of thing, similar to what the mural is, but it does not look like there is anything that can be removed off of the door or even be depressed. You press around with the mage hand on it, nothing.
I meant more like it's exactly the same thing. It's not like anvil here, hammer this way, and then the next door is anvil here, hammer is this way, or anything like that.
All three doors are identical. It's almost like a logo on the three doors.
And Rellian was the one that looking at the mural, and there was something about wasn't there something about an anvil?
Epiphany, give me a dexterity save.
Uh-oh.
Where's Epiphany?
No, see, we were thinking it was. Yep.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Hold on, let me just get it for you. Yeah, there we go.
Roll 1d8.
You're not a level 1 wizard.
Roll a 1d8 for me, Epiphany.
Of course. Of course.
The stone suddenly slithers away, and an extension that almost looks like gel or pudding slinks out of the wall and slaps you for 7 acid damage, and suddenly exploding through a very narrow crack in the wall, just a little gap, this thing oozes forth and attacks you. Everybody roll for initiative.
And of course, I'm at the freaking bottom.
It's the thing from the first mission.
Oh no!
Oh,
It came back for
Oh,
revenge.
no.
It came back for revenge. Initiative. Hey, look at that non-cleric roll.
Quack, 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 quack,
Why
quack.
you're not a cleric anymore.
Yeah.
Our initiative's low, but I stand the better chance of surviving against something that's doing acid damage than the rest of you.
Well,
Oh, geez.
It's true.
Oh, I got a roll for my NPCs too. Let me pull them down because they would have been in general in the vicinity. She would have been watching down that way. He would have been coming this way. So let me give each of them a roll real quick.
I'd like to know who rolled that -2.
Yeah, that's the bad guy.
Well, Epiphany, you're not at the bottom.
All right, let's put these in order.
Yeah, I am.
Not when
No, you're
something
not.
rolled a -2.
All right, so you took surprise damage, but it looks like it's not going to get another turn for a little bit here. So, and this
See?
of course wants
Okay.
to.
So since it has a negative initiative, does it just not go?
That lucky.
It's too busy trying to sashay itself out of the wall. That's what we're gonna go with.
Sashaying itself.
This thing is as black as coal. It stinks an acid, tart, burning your nostrils kind of sense. It probably, since you probably have a larger sense of smell, Epiphany, it probably is very objectionable to you. as this thing comes out and tries to ooze itself over you. It does manage to actually touch some of your skin and burn it as it comes out. So, Cassian, you have the first real move.
Kevin?
We already met Kevin. Wasn't he the chain devil?
No.
Everything's Kevin.
Everything is Kevin. Kevin is
all.
Kevin et al.
One of these days, like, we're gonna meet Kevin. It turns out Epiphany was just the prototype, and Kevin was the finished product, and Kevin is like 10 times more monstrous and disgusting than Epiphany.
be one!
Yes, I can see the GM thinking up the final boss in the next go-round that is named Kevin.
Why are we giving her ideas, guys? Come on, stop that. You know better.
Hey, if she hasn't thought of it yet, I mean, Epi's been freaking sane since like the second session, so, you know.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
So what is Cassian going to do with this thing?
That freaking 29 initiative, Jesus.
So, Cassian is all right, so Cassian is just going to just go forward and slash at it with his rapier.
Qualities of your rapier.
It's in good condition.
Not for much longer.
It is now in poor condition.
All right. Yes, you have hit it. However, you I'll just roll the 1d8 because I'll be probably doing a lot of these. You take 3 acid damage from the contact with the creature. And yes, it rolls down the sword because any non-magical weapon made of metal or wood begins to deteriorate. You will take a -1 penalty to your damage each round, as long as you are within 5 feet of this creature.
Cassian, seeing that his blade is starting to deteriorate, quickly retreats back, and he doesn't get hit because of this. And he just yells out to the group, "Well, this thing just ruined a perfectly good sword."
sigh.
Let me get, I don't have Jarlaxle and Esfel and what have you up, so alrighty, so the gunslinger sidekick, whatever you want to call him, sidekick here for Jarlaxle, jumps forward, and let's see what he's got in his ability. Alright, he does not come within melee range of it. He pulls out an odd pistol, not unlike the one that was in question in the earlier part of the story, and he fires it at it. And Roll20's not swapping here. There we go. All right. And he does hit it for 7 piercing and 17 poison damage. So that is a total of 24 damage that it takes. And it kind of, part of it hisses a little bit at it, but it does not, and I've got to double check something here. Yeah. All right. And it doesn't seem to slow it down, even though it took the full damage from this pistol and this projectile that he fired out of it. It still seems to have a lot of go because it's amorphous, and it just kind of lets an appendage drop off and grows another one, sort of thing. and it just keeps right on going. Jarlaxle himself is going to be very careful with what he does. He is going to what kind of weapon does he got here? Yes. Yeah, he has a weapon and he feels like is more capable of handling this. He does almost a forward roll into this thing and attacks it with his rapier twice. No, actually it's 3 attacks with his rapier. That was the same thing with that flurry he was able to use during the party. So he hits it 3 times? He hits it 3 times. So he has just about... Now it's starting to look really bad because he manages to do 44 damage to it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, what do you expect?
And then he immediately does a back roll out of range, and the thing tries to reach him. It does not do any damage to his sword. His sword remains hale. It seems resistant to the acid, and he then dances away, rolls away out of the damage of the thing. Rellian.
Well, time to clean this up. Rellian is going to raise his finger, draw a red magic circle in the air. A identical magic circle appears above the black pudding and rains down 3 fiery columns on it. In other words,
Scorching Ray.
Yeah. Okay. So all 3 of those actually hit. So let's see if we've got enough
24.
here. Yep. 24. Yep. That is enough. And it sizzles in the fire. It seems to dislike the fire a great deal. It sizzles and just burns to a crisp, and ashes flutter down from this thing as it's burnt and all the moisture seeps out of it. So you are out of combat on this thing. A group of you managed to take it out before it could do any further damage to one of you.
yay.
Yeah, well, it rolled -2 initiative.
Yeah, but these things actually can be pretty nasty, so lucky.
If it gets a hit, yeah.
I don't know what this thing is.
Oh, Saley, I know what it is from its freaking picture.
Yes. Yeah,
I never even got to see its picture.
Neither did I.
But I have described it as amorphous, jelly-like, and dark as coal.
Black Goose?
Up close.
Oh, well,
What's a name for a high tier slime?
Black Ooze?
It's a dessert.
Black pudding.
There we go.
All right,
Didn't realize that
so
was an actual name.
yep. So you are now out of combat.
Hey, is everything all right over there?
Yeah. Our friend Epiphany got attacked by the giant piece of pudding.
We found out what was eating the mural. Also, oh my gods! Epi, are you okay?
Epiphany looks
Does
down
he need any
at
healing?
Epiphany looks down at the pudding. And proceeds to dishonor it further.
God.
Is it weird that I kind of imagine...
Regurgitating a
weird
bunch
that-
of stuff on it.
Yeah, I kind of imagine that Epi doesn't regurgitate vomit. It's kind of like whale ambergris.
or the remains of his last meal,
Yeah.
like a pellet.
You better collect that. It's gonna be big.
He throws up all his gold.
Oh
Oh, wait, I
god.
did not mean to do that.
Oh god, the next big market product. Epi vomit perfume.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, moving on.
Does he require any healing?
We
Epi,
did
are you
get
okay?
attacked rather large. I rather. Yeah. We will be fine until there is
Potion?
Perhaps that would be wise. Do we have a potion?
Well, I mean,
We do
I
not have
could,
a potion.
Rellin is just going to slip one into his claws. There you go.
or I could cast a healing word, which will cover what actual damage you did, and not be
Or
overkill.
Or you could, or
We could save the healing for later.
exactly, we could use
Okay.
the drink now and save the energy for if it is actually necessary.
Anyway, call me superstitious, but dwarves point this way, and this end was where the ooze was. I'm
So-
going to bet that this is the right way.
So it was just a regular healing potion. So
Yeah, 2d4 plus 2.
Yes.
Hey, got all
Hey,
your
call
health
it
back.
back.
Those of you nearest the gaps, in the bridge areas, give me another perception roll now that you've had this encounter. I want to see what you recognize now.
Wait, all of us?
Yeah, no, the ones nearest that would be Cassian, Varus, and Lyric. Yeah. Rell, you
There we go.
Yeah, I need Lyric.
I'm on the bridge.
Yes.
Yeah, which means you're close to it.
Oh, okay. What was it? A perception. Wrong button. There we go. 19.
Okay, so all three of you, as you look at this wall and this dissolved wall, you look at the thing that was attacking your friends, you look at your feet and the dissolved bridge at your feet, and you realize, hey, you know what? That's probably acid damage.
Oh, that makes
Oh,
sense.
okay.
So we
Cassian
need-
is comparing the destroyed mural and the bridge in front of him. Says, looks like the bridge and the mural suffered the same kind of damage.
no dip. Now we gotta find a way to get over there.
Well,
Are
I
we
know
still
one
want to
way.
go across to the south end? I'll come back from around the corner.
I feel good about south. I've always liked going south.
Yeah.
Here, Relian, this should help you. I'll slap him on the butt and cast jump.
Oh, I was gonna ask for that.
Varus,
You're dexterous, you'll be fine.
Varus, you're a cutie, but
Jumping
Two.
requires strength, man.
Varus, Varus, two things. One, you're a cutie, but you're a little young for me, and two, your dads are very scary.
I'll go ahead of Relian, and I will do a running long jump, which looks like would be about 20 feet. My PHB seems to have vanished. But I believe it is 10 feet plus your strength mod. So I have a 0 strength mod, but I'll use Step of the Wind to triple it. So
Okay.
basically, I can long jump 30 feet.
And you are able to jump over that. Is that a cantrip or a spell slot?
Step of the Wind is a key point.
Okay. You very easily manage to just zip past this so fast that there's nothing manages to touch your feet enough to further fall apart.
So what's jump based on?
Jump is a standing long jump is 5 feet plus your strength mod. Running jump is if you run 10 feet and then jump, and it is up to 10 plus your strength mod. However, I just cast jump on you, so your distance is also tripled.
But I also have a -1, so it would be 9 times 3. Hold on.
27.
Okay.
You can still clear it.
Yeah, okay. So, Relian is going to stretch. He's going to come all the way back to the mirror. He's going to... And then as soon as he's onto the bridge outside the door, he's going to jump and land here.
They'll
How's my
seem-
form?
I could use a little bit of work, but overall it was good.
I
6
didn't
out.
ask for constructive criticism.
6 out of 10.
I'm sure it was quite fine, Relian, as I'm trying to see if I can open the door myself since the mage hand couldn't.
I'm reading jump here to get all of the details of it regarding high jump, long jump, etc. So I have all the details in it. Wish I could get this off of the screen, but I can't. All right, so you guys have moved across to the door. What are you doing with the door?
Trying to see if I can open that door if there's a lock.
There is no lock, just this image on the door of the dwarven symbol. I'm trying to see if it says which of the gods that it's the symbol of. It is the symbol of one of the gods, but I don't recall if it's Moradin or...
You say it's
Which
a
one?
hammer and an anvil?
Yeah,
I think that's Moradin, because he's the creation god, isn't he?
I believe so. I believe it's Moradin.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always saying by Moradin's hammer. So, yeah.
Chief?
So I believe that it's Moradin, the symbol of Moradin.
So, Lyric is pushing and pulling on the door, nothing happens.
Absolutely nothing happens. It just sits there.
You know, I've got a crazy idea. Rellyn is looking very intently on that hammer and anvil mark. He's going to reach into his robes. He's going to fumble about a bit. And from his Dungeoneer's pack, he's going to produce a small hammer one would use to either knock away stone or put in, like, pitons for climbing. He's going to walk over and he's going to strike the symbol with the hammer to see if anything happens.
You hear a kind of a resounding sound, almost musical, but not entirely, like musical stone, like a crystal maybe, but nothing seems to change with the door.
Ah, that was worth a shot.
Any luck?
Does anyone know Dwarven? Maybe a phrase has to be uttered?
I mean, I know Dwarvish.
As to my memory, someone did say that most of these things only open in the presence of dwarves, even illusionary ones.
Happy!
What?
Get your tail over here!
Epiphany, I'll give it a try.
So what is Epiphany doing?
Epiphany's trying to get over there.
Yep, you're over there.
Yeah, we need Epiphany to transform into a dwarf.
Oh, you do?
Maybe.
Okay, I'll just hold on a second. I'm kind of in the middle of something.
What we don't have is proper dwarf clothes.
Do you need me to switch into a dwarf or no?
You could probably do it like an illusion as opposed to your elder shape.
I cannot do it as an illusion.
I can.
Oh, well.
Then wait,
Then you
what
do
are
it.
you for you?
I don't know. I wanted to kind of
I understand the intention of it.
give Epi a chance. You know what? Forget it. Rell is just going to snap his fingers, and he is going to transform to a very particular dwarf. For those of you who might remember, he is going to transform into that elderly old dwarf craftsman who Cassian stabbed.
Ouch!
You're really gonna drive that in?
Yeah, I did. I did.
He went there. He went there. I mean, it's
I
legit.
almost didn't remember. So yeah, I transformed myself into the image of a dwarf, and I kind of look back at Cece and I just give him a sad look and point at him.
Okay, so
You lose further reputation with Cassian.
Oh, I care so much.
all right. So what do you do once you transform? Do you move up to the door? Do you say something in Dwarven? What do you do?
I don't know any. Actually, do I know Dwarf? I know so many freaking languages. I've kind of lost track. Hold on.
I want
do not-
somebody new Dwarven.
I know.
I do.
Actually, I've got an idea. So, I'm going to call back in dwarvish accent. Cece, laddie, how do you say, by Moradin's beard, open for friends, or some kind of, I don't know, some kind of dwarvish opening charm? I don't know, something that sounds mystical and dwarvish.
Where is Rellian standing? Is he standing behind Lyric? Is he standing in front of the door? What is he doing?
I'd probably be standing side by side with Lyric in front of the door because I hit it with a hammer.
As you step forward again in this new form and step back to the door without doing or saying anything, the minute you come within, almost reaching out to touch the door, it swings open with no effort on your part whatsoever.
Oh, we didn't need you after all. Story of this adventure.
Oh, hey, good job, Rellian.
Another
Nice.
loss.
And once again, I am seeing the darkness end at the door, so it's possible you cannot see through it. Ever since they changed to the new dynamic lighting setup, it frequently doesn't go away. So if you can't get through, let me know. All right, so.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
like
That's
this room.
interesting.
I do not like this room.
That's interesting.
So
You
when
don't have a choice.
as the door swings back and you look at it as it moves and the sound of the metal that you hit and so forth, you can tell this door was made out of adamantine. It's quite valuable material, very expensive, clearly dwarven in its make, and it has swung back without any effort on you. On all three of the walls opposite the door, north, east, and south that you're on it, you see frescoes. In the center of the room is a large anvil with a hammer laying on the handle, heavy blacksmith sort of hammer that is laying on the anvil. And the fresco on the east wall of the room has a fresco showing that there is a dwarf with its hand raised, and there is an anvil in front of it. There are dwarven runes that are engraved on the hammer. The hammer looks the same shape as what was in the wall. That would be an indentation where the hammer might have been at one time. And one side of the hammer, as it lays on the anvil, has dwarven runes that are inscripted on it.
I will tell everyone, don't touch anything. Let me see if I... Yeah, and the last time that happened, we ended up having Epiphany and Nocari tried to make love to a wall. So how about we just give me a couple minutes here to see to ritual cast detect magic again, so I can see if there's anything bad with the room if we touch anything in there.
Okay.
So I will do that.
Then I get to touch.
Maybe. And I'm going to ritual cast detect magic again.
All right. So while he's doing this 10-minute, I assume, ritual cast, what are the rest of you that are not at the room doing?
Cassian's just going to jump on the other side of this and make his way over there.
The elves do a kind of a light foot maneuver that they do to move across very lightly. Almost their feet almost don't seem to touch the ground as they go across. Esvel does a running jump and is able to get across in her move without any difficulty whatsoever. Nocari, what are you doing?
Eyeballing the crap out of the situation, like not looking thrilled about the prospects, but waiting for more people to clear the area.
All right. Cassian, once you get into the room, you would also be able to see these dwarven runes.
All right, and can he translate them, or are they too old?
No, you can translate them. They are in rather ancient Dwarvish, but you are able to translate them. It says in it, on the hammer, it says, "Let the hammer fall and the anvil ring." Or actually, it's actually on the anvil. It says that. Let the hammer fall and the anvil ring.
All right, so Cassian makes his way towards seeing this anvil, and
I
looks
step
at Lyric
out of
and-
the room.
I can't do anything. I have to stay here for my ritual cast.
So Cassian just looks at the anvil and just speaks the words, "Let the hammer fall and the anvil ring true." And he looks towards Lyric.
Am I done ritual casting, or?
Yeah, in the 10 minutes they got into the room, moved up, so forth. So I will say eventually you finish your ritual cast.
Out of curiosity, am I able to hear them talking from back where I am at, or not yet?
Yeah, I'd say that they're not trying to whisper or anything. You probably can.
I'll call back. It sounds like it needs a blacksmith's touch.
Oh, I'm no blacksmith.
An apprentice, maybe.
Also, clear the doorway, please.
So what do I detect, if anything?
You detect magic on the anvil, but nothing out of the norm that you've come to expect with this kind of background sense of warding. The room has that background sense, but the anvil has a sense of being actually some kind of magic.
Nothing else?
No.
And what kind of magic do I detect from the anvil?
Enchantment.
Okay, so the anvil is giving off that same aura as the fresco from downstairs, so
Probably less malevolent.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and ring that anvil, I'm going to walk across the bridge.
Anyone who doesn't want to be affected by possibly mind-altering magic, I'd suggest leaving now.
Cassian just start really looking at the anvil and touching the hammer.
The hammer's fine.
I
Or at
am.
least I trust with it.
All right.
And when you touch the anvil, nothing happens to you. You're not in love with the hammer or anvil or anything like this. It just...
I'm going to name her Big Bertha.
And it is a large anvil indeed. Right, so it is key that you place your tokens where
Do you
you
mind
are...
if I...
Hold on. It is key that you place your tokens where you are going to be standing when somebody does anything with this anvil.
I'm going to be standing like outside, but right next to the door to keep it open.
And Epiphany is right behind Rell.
I'm still back where I'm at since crossing the bridge is not happening right this second for her.
Esvel and Jarlaxle actually will come in and will start inspecting the various murals to see if they don't touch them or do anything with them, but they start looking at them, see if they can detect anything that they need to do with those murals. All right.
What do the murals have again?
They have various pictures of smiths wielding weapons, and the mural that has the missing hammer on the eastern wall has a smith that is forging armor, and the armor is glowing in this, appears to be glowing. There's a color around it. It's if it has an aura that is, it appears that the smith in the mural is forging magic armor.
I have an idea, Varys, and Cassian draws out his damaged sword, rapier, and he then places it on the anvil and gives the hammer to Varys.
I don't know if I can actually repair this without any sort of materials.
Humor me.
But it's worth a try. And I take the hammer, and I hold on to the handle of the rapier, and I look around to make sure everyone isn't still adjusting. I.e., it is your last chance to position yourselves how you want to be.
Ball to the wall.
And I...
Everyone within the room suddenly feels
Does
healthier.
anything happen?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Everyone within the room suddenly feels healthier, stronger, as if they could take on the world. And everyone within the room has just gained 10 temporary hit points.
Nice.
This is BS.
No shit.
Sweet.
Sometimes you have to take a risk.
Oh, shush.
Whatever.
Alrighty.
I mean, I didn't see much else choice right there.
And what about my rape?
Nothing happened to it.
Aw.
Did I break it by hitting it with a big-ass hammer?
Hello?
Huh? What? I said nothing happened to it.
Okay.
Oh, alright. Cassian just looks at his blades like, not the intended effect, but he just sheathes it back again.
Alright, well, we got 2 other doors that we can check.
By the way, when I did the, for the NPCs, since I don't have the temporary hit point slot on their sheet that I can use, I just simply added them 10 straight on their bar. The bar now shows, they've changed it, it shows a plus indicating that they have additionals rather than extending the bar past the end of the line like it used to, which makes it very handy for temporary hit points, so if you care to use that.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it doesn't change it for me if I put in the temporary HP slot.
Yeah, with them, I just added it straight onto their hit points that they had extras over and above their standard thing. All right, so Lyric is heading back. Don't get too far ahead, moving too far, because you never know what's going to happen when people start moving off on their own. All right, so what are the rest of you doing?
I'm still where I was before because crossing that bridge on I'm going based off of weight and everything else. Nocari is like, I can't shape change. I can't cross it very easily. I'm not going to risk breaking my neck.
I'll let you hold my hand, and I'll cast Mage Hand.
Cassian will just make his way out and move over back to the other side. Or, actually...
Varys is going to take the hammer and just give a quick tap to the 3 murals on the wall. See if there's anything there.
Nothing happens to them. They just sound like the stone of the wall.
Okay.
Esvel is rather fascinated by the end of the hallway. She keeps looking at how the mural stops rather suddenly. And she says, Cousin Relian, didn't you say you thought it was odd that all of the dwarves were marching this way? Was it merely to get a bonus to our strength?
Marching in the room, still in my dwarf disguise, did Varys leave the hammer?
No.
Okay. In that case,
You could have stopped him as he was going past.
The hammer might not be important for right now, but Relian is going to As well as over on the other side now.
Yes.
Yeah, with us.
So he'll be very careful. And he's actually going to agree with her, and he says, "Well, lassie, I don't rightly know. I mean, I'd like to believe that. I don't know. I'm a very firm believer in the puzzle system when it comes to these damned dungeons. He's very in character right now. Don't disturb him."
I'm using my mage hand to tug on his beard.
She starts like feeling over the wall to the south and doing various things, trying to see if she can find anything, and she's not coming up with anything, and she's just very puzzled with what's going on.
Rellian is going to actually, laddie, could I see? He's calling out to Varys. Could I see that hammer real quick?
The minute you get within 5 feet of the end of that wall where you're standing there, where your token is showing, the wall to your right begins to slide back at your nearness without anything you had to do. It begins to slide back.
Hey, good job.
And
Dwarves be kick ass here.
there is a double arrangement here that shouldn't. They've got a. Yeah. Let me see what I. Okay.
Well, barring that this isn't exactly a false positive, I say it's good as any. It's a good direction as any.
Your words, love.
And Rellian is able to find a rather narrow but passable passage going in. It's not a normal, medium-sized, tall individual. Kind of has to lean a little. It's a little bit dwarven-sized, but dwarves aren't that far off from medium. And you are able, even with your real shape and size, you're able to pass through, but clearly it was sized a little bit more with dwarves in mind, but you are able to get through the passage, and you find yourself in a small room that is an offshoot. There is a raised stone platform that runs around the far end of the room in a kind of a U shape, and spaced out on this platform there are 5 urns, copper urns that time has turned green. They're greenish urns sitting on this raised stone area.
Do I sense any magic from any of these urns or anything in the room at all?
No, you don't.
You can go ahead and smash everything in here. There's nothing that we have to worry about.
Oh, that's respectful, ain't it?
First, let's inspect the floor to see if there are any traps, and Cassian will do so.
Yeah, while you're in there, see if there are any writings on the walls. You're the one who reads this crap.
How very respectful indeed.
Cassian is absolutely certain there is not a trap anywhere in here.
Well, I don't see any traps in here, but he now does look to see if there are any more dwarvish runes he can translate.
Nothing. There are like some dwarven images that have been carefully etched with good skill and craftsmanship on the urns. Again, that are symbols of dwarven life, mainly blacksmithing and hammering sort of images. Some of them may be out of the dwarven lore, but it's very typical smith sort of images that you are seeing engraved on these urns. They are very decorative urns, although certainly ancient.
Rellian is going to carefully inch forward. Goodbye, everybody. And he's going to poke one. He's going to poke the center one.
It kind of rocks on its base, but remains standing.
He's going to reach out, and with his face pointed away from the urn, he's going to gingerly open the urn.
There's nothing pours out of the urn like any gases or anything like that, but as you move it slightly and it rocks a little bit, there is a kind of a metallic sound that you hear from inside of it.
Okay.
Cassian will actually now inspect to see if there are any trap mechanisms underneath the urns.
All right.
Better.
The urns themselves, you are pretty sure you're very careful, and you just have the feeling you just really got to look at these, but no matter how you look, you don't find any kind of trap mechanisms here.
Okay. In that case, Rellian is going to gingerly...
He didn't relay this information.
Ellie, just... Can we continue doing this, please?
I go ahead and grab an urn.
Yeah, I'm going to pour out the contents onto the altar.
Well, I'm not going to pour it out. That's disrespectful.
Rellian pours his out, and there is the jingle jangle sound like modern people might hear when a slot machine jackpot is hit. And coins and coins and coins pour out of this, along with a long wand-like object.
Two questions. One, does it seem like there's more coins in pouring out than realistically there should be?
No, you'd say that probably you're looking, the urn itself is probably 2 feet high by a foot in diameter, and probably 200 or more coins poured out of this thing, but it's within realm of thinking that it could fit in this urn.
I was about to ask if we found
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt
I was
it.
about to ask if this is how Ember hid it all. He's got these urns of holding.
The coins themselves are not Waterdavian coins. They look older than that, but they are clearly gold coins and would probably be worth their normal weight of gold.
These might have some historical value. Rellian is going to quickly brush them inside of a empty side pouch of his, but then he's going to pick up the wand, and he says, "But this be the real prize."
Do I sense magic from the wand?
Yes, you sense some kind of, let's see, conjuration, I think it would be.
Look at me.
Careful with that. Careful with that. That might be summon something. And I pick up my urn and I'm
Disrespectful.
I'm shaking my urn now.
Cassian will do the same.
Let me, hang on just a second. Let me get the school, make sure I'm getting the right one.
Okay.
I think it will be this, but I want to,
I found a wand of infinite food.
Watch that actually be what it is.
evocation.
Evocation.
Hmm.
Okay, so careful. That I don't know what evocation is. Is that?
Fire magic.
Boom shakalaka.
Oh, what's the damage?
Oh, it goes right with your repertoire. Rellian, just don't use it at me, please.
Rellian is slowly turning, he's turning like a statue. His feet aren't even moving. Just this scraping sound comes from the bottom of his feet, and he's now facing Cassian.
All right, so Lyric, you said you poured out yours?
I'm shaking it.
Shaking it. All right. Yours rattles more like crystal sounds. It's kind of a crystalline sound comes from it.
Cheers.
I then open it and then carefully pour it out.
You find quite a number of gems. Plus, you find a number of copper coins that come out. Older, not the Waterdavian nibs, but copper coins. You find 5 tourmaline gems that you can guess are probably worth about 100 gold pieces each.
Ooh.
And probably, again, at least another 200 copper pieces that tumble out.
Nice.
20 silver right there.
Or 2 gold.
And what does Cassian find?
The last one on the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
a statuette tumbles out of a dwarven priest dressed in some kind of priestly robes, and it has amethyst eyes. The statue itself weighs about 10 pounds.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Cassian lifts it up and he's like, "Oof, I'm definitely certain that this'll definitely fetch a pretty penny, or maybe even a platinum."
How much gold would you say was in my thing, just so I know?
You spend a few minutes piling it into kind of groups to figure out how much you've got there, and you figure out you've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 gold pieces in that urn.
Jesus, I'll take it.
And then question, do I sense any magic from my gems, and do I sense any magic from his statue?
No magic from either one of those, no.
Okay.
Can I use detect price on the statue?
With your kind of thief background, I would say that you figure out that this thing probably is worth a good 250 gold.
We're rich, laddies. Let's get the hell out of Dodge.
Well, we got two more urns, but 3 people to share them with.
Cassian will put the statue back into his urn and then just tie the urn to him or something.
Epi, come pick up an urn. It's like name day presents.
We have had terrible fortune the moment we stepped in here. We believe that if we were to open one, spiders would eat our eyes.
I'm going to reach over and just gently take Epiphany's hand and give him a careful pat, making sure she didn't grab the one that he had gotten burned on. And
So
say, there, I completely
you-
understand.
So if you're grabbing his hand, are you at the room?
Oh, I thought he was still outside. Because you said the passageway was narrow, so
It was
I
short.
was still
You
staying
can,
back.
get, you can get through. You're a medium.
Is
dwarves
there
are
one left?
medium. There are
There are 2 left.
Epiphany will break one.
It's hard to break copper. It more like dings
Oh.
than breaks. But
Upturns it, whatever.
which one? The one in this position here, or the one down in the lower position? One on either side of the middle one are still available.
This one.
All right. Are you dumping it out?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of silver pieces tumble out, quite a number, a lot of silver pieces, and a total of 11 rings,
Bling.
10 of which look like rather ordinary gold rings, and one of which, as you pick it up, has an odd warmth to it.
Oh.
Magic radar. What do I detect?
You detect, you detect that it's a ring of something. You don't have an identify, so I've got to go with the school, and it's what I'm trying to get here, see if I can find the proper school.
Wild guess. Is it like resistance ring?
Is it what?
A ring, does it grant a resistance?
Not
I
exactly.
wouldn't be able to tell.
It's sort of like a equipment
I'm
find
just
out.
helping her find out.
So
Do you
what?
guys got the sheet shelf? We'll come up with the right
No.
answer.
All right. Never
I mean,
mind.
the easy thing is just it's enchantment because it's enchanted.
Yeah, it's enchanted, but I'm trying to see. I will say yes. Let's see. Yeah, it's enchantment.
Okay.
Definitely
Oh.
enchantment.
I'll dig out the ring so that the that one that I feel that it's enchanted, and I'll point to that one for Epiphany. That one's special.
Epiphany puts it on.
You feel a kind of a warm glow all over you, and you feel like winter storms no longer will have much effect on you.
We are
Ooh.
tingly.
Cold resistance?
We do not know, but we no longer feel what we feel tingly and warm.
That was OOC about what it could possibly be.
We got one urn left. Who wants it?
I might as well open it. I've been having a rather bad headache being here.
Are you dumping out the last one?
I will, instead of dumping it, I will open the jar, take a quick peek, and then reach in to kind of see what I can touch first before taking it out.
The light that is emanating from the amulet that you have light on sparkles off a number of gems down in the pot.
Well then, I might as well just take the entire jar then.
I want the group of you, since I don't have easy access to Discord chat when I'm on the images, I need you to, let me see if I've got a way that I could do this. No, there really isn't. There's a total here of 5 tourmalines worth 100 gold each. So I would need you to write in the loot channel, please. 5 tourmalines times 100 gold each, plus 200 copper CP. A ring of warmth, I'll go ahead and tell you, a ring of warmth, and 10 ordinary gold rings that are worth 25 gold each. Plus 650 silver pieces. Third urn, 250 gold, plus a wand of lightning bolt.
Ooh.
Fourth urn, 33 blue quartz gemstones times 10 gold each. And the last one, a 9-inch tall statuette of a priest of Moradin, amethyst eyes, worth 250 gold pieces and weighing 10 pounds.
Dunzo.
Okay, so you struck it rich here. Whatever else happens to you, you got these.
Yep.
And make fine additions to our corpses.
Esvel and Jarlaxle are seemingly getting antsy trying to find a way into the actual vault, wanting to get to the real, what they think is the real wealth in this storage facility. So they start moving ahead and looking. They don't see any way safely at this point across the gap in that center bridge, but they stand there considering it for a while. What are you going to do?
Cassian is going to try and get his way through and see. Interested in seeing if we can get some other type of magic in there.
At the gap, you mean, by in there?
The second walkway.
Uh-huh.
Varys is going to go back up to the first bridge that he was originally crossing before coming down to the smith room.
All right.
I was walking that way as well, since that one, I'm fairly certain I could at least cross.
Resistance.
Yeah.
Hey, Valian, we're going up to the first walkway.
That would be about a 15-foot jump.
Relian, still in his old dwarf disguise, just cradling the wand, stroking it. Precious.
Actually, how far is that? 10 feet. Varys is going to back up and do a long jump across this way,
All right.
landing over here.
Yeah, you'd be able to get across that with... What's your strength, by the way?
My strength is only 10, so I'd only be able to jump 10 feet.
But you'd be able to get across the weakest part of that without too much effort.
Mm-hmm.
Worse.
Well,
I'm just going
since
to try
you're
and
a
be
dwarf.
reckless about it.
Go right ahead, Rell.
Give me a dexterity check, please, Lyric. Not a save, a check.
Acrobatics again?
Yes.
Thank you. 21.
Very good. You tiptoe across again. You're a performer. You're able to get across a tightrope. And
Yep.
you find
wait.
yourself in front of another one of these doors with the anvil and hammer.
Relian!
I don't think I have the spell on me anymore. I'm just going to have to be really careful.
Well, here, I can give you a hand, and I'll cast Mage Hand to help Relian across.
I don't think that's how that works.
I am going to smack you with my dwarven beard.
Not if you're all the way over there and not over here.
I can fix that for you.
No, you can't. You're still charmed by me. I mean, no, you're not.
I can still fix that for you, and I'll start picking up Relian very slowly.
Yeah,
Not the
that
be-
added weight.
Not the
No, put him
beard!
down.
Not the
Put him down.
beard!
What? Is going to give you a helping hand with a toss.
Toss me. Just don't tell the elves.
Yep. I was about to make a reference, and you beat me to it by about half a second.
Don't worry, Don't worry, I'll tell them.
Of course you would.
No one throws a dwarf.
But friend Relian, you are not a dwarf. Why are you speaking in such an odd manner?
It's called acting.
He's being funny. Relian, hang on, please.
You're not the only one with personalities living in your head.
But
Only,
we acquired
his are actually there. Yours are just, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Did we
Okay,
have-
how much
I'm
of a...
sad now.
Sorry, I'm
We
just
are
trying to see
confused.
how much of a thing's over there. Okay.
We will go back to arguing with ourselves.
All right, so
But,
you're all standing back there, way away from the door and the gap. What's going on?
Well, I was going to pick up Relian in dwarf form and get ready to get across.
So how are you doing this? You going to throw him? You going to carry him? What are you going-
It's basically piggyback. I'm going to get him to get up on my back kind of a deal, and then I'm just going to charge it across.
Okay,
Oh,
so your
Have
strength,
fun.
your strength is
My strength is it should be 16.
all right. You would be able to long jump 16 feet if you were not encumbered.
Mm.
You're carrying
Is that
an individual, so
Let's
it will
see
cause you a little bit of a problem.
Well, that'll be if Lyric moves out of the way. I can get to the 15 feet if I start the jump from about here.
Very good. I am, however, because you are somewhat encumbered and you are trying to jump across a narrow area with carrying another individual who may look like a dwarf but weighs typical of Relian. And dwarves are medium
I mean, I can
creatures
toss him. I
anyway.
can stop and toss him from that point. I mean, whichever one's easier.
Dwarf toss.
Don't dwarfs! Don't toss the dwarfs! Don't toss the dwarf!
I weigh 160 pounds.
She gives you a running start with a shove to help you. I give you an extra 5 feet on your long jump. She's going to shove you. What's your strength?
Uh,
8.
All right, so you can. The narrow spot is really only short distance there. It's not the whole distance. This is the weakest point here, and if you're trying to get across that, you've just got to get across there. This is improperly measured. Each square is actually about.
I guess if you look at it this way, it's like I'm kind of there with the cupping the hand, so like if he steps on, I just kind of like throw him over my shoulder to feel.
Yeah.
Or help aid him by lifting him up and over so he gets a better angle.
Very good. I'm going to say, Rellian, give me a dexterity check, acrobatics, and unless you roll really bad, like almost a nat 1, I'll say you make it. If you're really clumsy.
Here we go. Nat 1.
Don't even joke. You got this. You got this.
You made it. You tiptoe through the tulips with the extra shove just fine.
I actually do like that song for some odd reason.
And as soon as Rellian comes stumbling across with the shove from Nocari and gets within 5 feet of the door, it opens just like all the others.
Oh, that was fun. Alright, out of my way. I want to see what's in here. Oh.
Wait a minute. Cassian, doesn't your hat of disguise allow you to turn into a dwarf if you want?
Possibly.
Is Cassian there?
No idea.
Doesn't sound like it.
Nope. All right. Rellian, you step into a room with a large painted, pretty realistically painted statue of a dwarf wielding a hammer. And at the feet of the dwarf is a ring set into the floor that looks like it is part of a metal trapdoor sort of thing that is in the floor. This give me a religion check first.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Cassian is going to make his way across
Very nice.
across this bridge.
Above average.
You gotta kind of get past me, and I was about to go do that myself, so you can either wait until I cross, or...
Toss me as well.
I ain't tossing you. You can make it yourself.
I love being a semi-religious sorcerer.
Okay,
Makes no
Nocari, decide what you're doing. Are you moving across?
Yeah, I'm getting across. I'm
Okay.
gonna narrow it out, jump that gap there, type deal,
Very good.
and then make my way over.
Okay. I'll say that since you've got plenty of jumping room when you're not encumbered, you'd be able to make it fairly easily. And Cassian, you can come and make your jump?
Yep. Jumpity jump.
Okay. And what is your strength?
8.
Okay, so yours is small enough you would have to give me a dex check. Again, it's that you don't have to do much to make it, but you have to not be stumble-footed. Okay. All right.
Perfect landing.
Yep. You 10-point the landing. All right, so there is this trap door with a ring handle set in the floor, this dwarf statue, and we needed a check from Rellian, and I'm looking. Nope.
You rolled a 15.
Yeah, 15 is not enough. I will say that what you are able to determine with that is this does not look like Moradin. It looks more like the weapon, the hammer weapon that it's wielding is more of a war weapon than a smithing weapon, and more like a mace. And this looks more like a warlike god than anything else. You also notice that outside of being painted quite realistically, there are rubies set in the eyes.
With everything that happened in that lower room with the urns and whatnot, would we say that at this point my detect magic would probably start running out? Or would it be about halfway through? Because I don't know how. Because it only lasts 10 minutes, and I don't know how long.
I would think that probably it'd be right at the end, but I will judge that you still got it a little bit going on.
Do I detect anything?
There is some kind of what would it be? Some kind of evocation magic that would probably be what you would detect from this statue.
Okay, so no messing with the statue.
Can I look, without touching, look around the statue for any sort of buttons or switches or knobs or levers or anything that is not entirely statuesque?
Yes, you're welcome to do that, and anybody else that wants to give a religion check, if you have any kind of religion abilities, you can give a religion check to see if you recognize what the statue is.
I'm not, let me rephrase, I'm not trying to find out who this statue is about. I'm trying to see if there's anything not, that looks like it's not entirely supposed to be part of the statue.
Now, outside of the fact that the whole statue is painted very realistically, and these red ruby eyes seem almost out of place on the statue because everything else is so realistic, to have these gems set in the eyes, that's the only thing that you notice of anything that is unusual.
My dad was the shepherd. Can I roll religion?
I will let you roll it with disadvantage.
Okay. Religion, where is it? Here we are. That's a nat 1.
Nope, you're not able to determine anything about this. You just know that this is not Moradin.
Okay.
No one else knows anything about the Dwarven Pantheon.
Let me see if any of the, I don't think any of these other people have any kind of religious backgrounds.
Could I give it a go since I hate a dwarf? Doesn't give me any knowledge, but there's a dwarf's personality.
I mean, anybody can roll their religion roll to see if they just somewhere, picked it up.
I'll give it a stab in the butt.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, I get an 18.
Oh, yeah. Epiphany thinks about it, asks the dwarf that's running around in his head, and the dwarf says, that's Gorm Gullethan. He's known as Old Fire Eyes, he is.
That is the voice that comes out of Epiphany.
Cool.
You are so useful when the time comes. And you continue to surprise me.
Hearing that, Rell is going to look at the statue's eyes.
Please don't. I whisper that, like, I'm trying to, like, my hands are out to, like, hold Relian, even though I'm not actually grabbing it.
I'm going to press myself against the wall next to the statue, so if any sort of beams come out, it's not going to hit me.
Okay, so Rell is grabbed and he stops looking at the statue. What are you doing?
Please don't.
What, look at the statue?
Lyric, it's been a while, but please do trust Relian in that he knows something of what he's doing.
I just want the statue.
So is Relian looking at the
okay.
Is Relian looking at the statue from the doorway? What do you mean by you're looking at the statue?
I'm just looking at it. Like I was trying to look at it like at its eyes to see, because the dwarf said Old Fire Eyes, and that sounds like a clue.
The eyes are red rubies, and it might certainly be why they inset these red rubies into the eye sockets to imply this image of fire eyes.
Can I look for any dwarven runes?
There are no dwarven runes in this room. No runes in the room.
So who wants to try the trapdoor?
Yeah, I have a 10-foot long stick.
I actually do. I pulled out my collapsible 10-foot long pole that I got a while back, and I try to hook it through the ring at the on the trapdoor.
All right, so you're trying to lift the trapdoor?
Mm-hmm. From 10 feet back.
Oh.
Yep, that's why I stood to the side.
See?
Epiphany looks around after putting the dwarf away. Huh?
Rellian, give me a dex save. I'm going to have you roll it, because I don't want to have to roll it.
Oh no.
Well, bye everybody.
Nope, I can save
Bye,
you.
everybody. Remember.
Is it?
Roll a 4d10.
Oh boy.
Oh, well, that's gonna
That's
hurt,
fine.
but it's probably not gonna kill me.
Yeah, that's
Roll
about it.
low.
Okay, so that's
One.
22. Is this fire damage?
Yes.
I take 11.
Hooray, personal resistances.
I do try to grab Rellian and pull him towards me.
So Rellian is now sporting 2 pinprick-sized holes in his shoulder, and he's just like, "Ow!
This is why I said
Ow!
not to look at it. This is why I said not to look at it.
It wasn't me looking at it; it was him."
Still, don't stare at the dwarf known as Fire Eyes.
After about a minute of these rays reaching out up to the door in length, it eventually they fade away.
Is this supposed to do something?
Hey, Epiphany.
Outside of kill people for messing with it.
Hey, Epiphany. Did that dwarf in your mind also say that Gorm is the staring contest champion?
No.
When you kind of mentally say, "Fire Eyes, what was this?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, he's the god of vigilance and protection."
I
He's the god of vigilance and protection. Perhaps you should have thought about that before you did.
I
Perhaps you should be
suddenly
a
don't
bit
feel
more
very
cautious.
protected by that at all.
Okay.
You are
What
not
I'm
the
hearing
one.
is
You
destroy
are
the
not the one
frickin'
he.
statue.
You are not the one he is intending to protect. Clearly,
I mean, this is very true.
we are the ones doing the ransacking and invading. After all, we did just collect treasures
we-
from a row.
Fine to keep it, I suppose, but I mean,
That is one way to put it. However, keep in mind the original
semantics,
occupants may
yes.
disagree.
yeah, this is true.
Anything that was made by a dwarf still technically belongs to a dwarf.
My. Ow!
Are you
I
able
will
to
go
defend
over
Rellian?
and cast Cure Wounds on Rellian.
We could regurgitate the potion if you require it.
You're still holding the door open though, right?
Currently.
So then I'll cast Cure Wounds on Rellian.
Okay. I mean, I assume that... I'm fine if you want to heal him. I assume the door can be set to an open position.
Yes. And when you do so and it leans back against the statue, you notice there is a well underneath the door that is only about 6 inches deep. It is merely a square well with nothing in it. There is no hole, no doorway, no entrance, no ladder, no secret door, nothing you can find except a false little well underneath this trapdoor.
Hey, Varus, poke to see if there's anything down there.
Moving out.
Okay,
Okay,
with
move
the
out of the way. Moving out of the way.
Yep, I'll give more room for Rellian.
As long as you don't touch the trapdoor again, you poke around inside this stone well, find absolutely nothing, but you just hit stone. It is just carved, it's a indentation carved into solid stone.
We just got hoodwinked.
Maybe not. Let's, who wants to go down there?
It's only about 6 inches deep.
I will stick 1 foot into the well.
You step on stone, solid flat stone.
Is it filled with water, or is it just like an empty stone basin?
It's a stone indent. It's like a dip in a sidewalk.
Oh no,
It's
this
just
is the
a
latrine.
square hole 6 inches deep. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I really don't think there's anything else to be found here.
Yes, I was more worried that there was going to be an explosion. Since there's not, Mage Hand, I'm going to go and pluck Ruby out.
Okay, moving out of the room now. Goodbye.
You don't want to go out of the room because you're going to be in the way of the laser eyes.
No, I'm going out of the room. Then you do your suicidal crap.
Okay.
So,
Latrine. Everybody poops.
so is Lear's trying to steal an eye?
Well, I'm going to see if I can pluck a Ruby out without anything happening.
Give me a dexterity save.
Dexterity save already.
And this is a save.
Yep. That
You
is a 9.
Failed it, and you will take 40.
But this was with the magic hand.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The Mage Hand.
The
So my
mage-
Mage Hand would...
The
Mage Hand-
eyes immediately explode out again, just like they did before. I don't know if your
Okay.
mage hand can take damage, but if it...
If it does, it's like 1 hit point
Yeah.
worth of health. It's going to die.
I get the feeling that we should not be messing with this unless there's some way to, I guess, reflect what it's shooting out.
I can try holding a mirror in front of it, but
Do we have a mirror?
I do have a mirror, but
Yeah, me too.
it's more of a point of I don't want to burn my hand off.
This is more fire. I don't think we can reflect fire with a mirror.
It would
What
just...
about-
Why don't we just leave?
Cassian is going to investigate the little basin, I guess.
All right. After another minute, eventually the laser beams fade from view again, and you are able to again look into this empty basin.
All right.
It is a very nicely formed. They took a lot of time working on it, but it is solid stone, one piece with no gaps, just carved directly out of the floor stone.
All right. Screw this freaking place. I'm going to the other door.
Can
Wait,
I
how big is the hole exactly?
6 inches deep.
Well, 6 inches deep, but like
It's,
how wide?
Let's call it 4 feet square.
Okay, that's a little bigger than what my brain was suddenly putting 2 and 2 together. All right.
No, I think I see what you're thinking.
Yeah, I think if the area was smaller, it might have been for the statue.
It just sucks. Let's go.
It just sucks. Valiant's having a real bad day.
Vel
Now
is,
he's having a real bad day.
as Vel is standing at the gap, and she is just scratching her head. I don't even know if I can jump over that. That's a fair distance.
And Cassian will return to the other side with the running jump.
Varys is going to use a second. He's going to come out of the room first. But he is going to use.
She says that she is. Says I can get 4 of you across without too much trouble if you want to get a boost from me.
Why don't we send one person disguised as a dwarf first and see what's there? No need to waste resources if we don't need to.
Jarlaxle, meanwhile, kind of scoffs, and he waves his hand, and you see him raise up off the ground and simply seem to walk across the empty gap across.
Very fancy.
Test. I can do that. soon.
I mean, I'm glad you have the skills to make these things happen, my good sir. Unfortunately, not all of us are blessed.
Yes, well, it does come in handy at times, and he goes up and peers at the door, touches it, does things, nothing happens for him.
Yep, you're
Oh,
gonna need to be a dwarf.
Cuz, send me over.
All right, so she slaps you with jump, and your jump distance is tripled. I think you said you had 8, so you would be able to jump up to 24 feet.
Mm-hmm. Would that be enough to clear it?
Mm-hmm.
More than enough.
All right, once you walk up to the door, it slides open. How long does the spell last that you've put on yourself?
1 hour. And it is not a concentration, so that attack didn't break it.
All right, so the door slides open, and you, as you kind of, I imagine, crane your neck in to make sure you don't walk into another bunch of I-beams or something in this room, you look into a room that has 4 suits of armor, 1 in each corner. They are sized for a dwarf.
Well, Lady Eswell, can you send me next?
Of course, and she slaps you with one of her jump spells.
Alright, so he gets a running start, and boom. And now he joins the other.
Anyone else that I can help? Otherwise, I'm going to do it myself.
After you, my lady, I think I can manage on my own, but the offer is much appreciated.
I can't do it from over there, and I will have only 1 spell remaining once I put it on myself.
I would look after yourself. I believe I can make this. Thank you.
Well, I'll yell up to ahead. Rell and Cassian, can you see any way out from that room?
It's an empty room with 4 suits of armor.
I don't think there's any reason to really waste any more spell slots or any more of your spells, my lady, if there's no way to go into that room either. Further into the vault.
And
There
Cassian will...
is, the first thing Cassian notices as he peers in is the back wall has dwarven runes carved into it.
There's some runes on the back wall. They say...
a secret never before told will part Dumathoin's lips. And there is a large painting next to these ruins of the dwarven god Dumathoin.
Alright, so he just repeats the this riddle as he walks through and takes a look at the picture.
Could I do a religion check?
Yes. Yeah, you don't...
Never heard of him.
Yeah, even your dwarf doesn't have any idea except that he's like some kind of secretive god of some kind. He says he has something to do with secrets, but I don't know more than that.
Oh, my turn.
He's a very honest, straightforward god. You should keep to it.
I don't know much more.
Could I roll history about anything about a riddle that could part that god's lips?
Yes.
Thank you. History. Yeah, nope.
Dwarven history is concerned, you just don't know what this has, and except for what Cassian has told you about it, you just don't know.
I think we left that. There you go.
DM.
There you go.
Can I? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Can I try to do some monk as Marisha from Critical Role would put it, crazy monk shit, and try to jump off that wall to propel myself a little bit farther than my
That's not
use acrobatics basically.
yeah, I guess that is a wall there.
Some acrobatics.
Yeah, I'll give
basically,
you.
can I try to use acrobatics instead of athletics to jump across?
I'll give you athletics, and I will give you advantage on your jump ability. Yes. So you have to do your acrobatics.
Well, that's a 6.
Oh,
All right.
hi, Varys.
Let's see. 60 feet. That's a 6d6.
Ah, hells.
I'm gonna use slow fall.
Good call.
No damage.
Well, some damage, but not 25.
Well,
points.
no, it's fifth. It's times 5 your level, so 5th level.
I'm not a 5th level. Oh, yes, I am.
Yes, you're
I don't know why I was.
Oh wait,
anyway.
no, you know your monk.
Yeah,
your monk level.
Is it? Are you casting it as a monk?
That's the only
It's not.
way I can. It's not a
not-
spell. It's a monk trait.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah,
I will
equal to
take
5
5
times your monk level.
I got it. Math done. You hear from below.
You're all right down there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yahoo! And you
I'll be
find
right
yourself
back.
back
Go get it.
down in the original room that you entered into. You know your way back up, but you are down there. So Lyric's going to go back down and
Yeah.
and help him. Okay,
Don't
so
worry about it. My question is how big of a face print did I make in the ground when I landed?
Oh god. the Varys crater.
Wily Coyote-sized crater. All right, so you guys are down in the lower floor. You went running down the stairs, Lyric. I'll get him! I'm coming! All right, so Cassian and Rellian are standing in this room with these dwarven runes and these 4 dwarven armor plates.
And say the riddle one more time.
A secret never before told will part Dumathoyan's lips.
Cassian is trying to figure that out. What does he have to roll? Like flat intelligence?
Yeah, intelligence roll.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
$15. Aha. You are able to put together with the little bit that Epiphany told you from what he knew about the God of Secrets and what this says on there, that possibly you need to speak something that no one has ever heard before, that someone has kept to themselves, a secret they've never told.
Oh.
Well, Varys has a secret, but he just fell down to the bottom floor.
I figured it out, Rellian. We have to reveal a secret.
Should you do it or should I?
What do you want to do?
I'll do it. Just wait until everyone gets up here, I suppose.
I'd say no time like the present.
Since I'm down on the bottom floor anyway, can I go up to this door and open it and just see if it is anything behind there? I remember Cassian saying something about other doors previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, you open the doors. They are not locked like the others that you opened. They don't have any lock on them. They open to a depression in the wall, just like the one you saw upstairs, only this one is 2 doors wide and 7 feet high, but it only goes 6 feet deep. Again, it is like a false well behind this door.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
While all this is going on, I have some equipment I have never used in 5 years of playing this stupid game. I have hammer, pythons, and rope.
Right.
Can Epiphany mountain climb his way across this stupid crevice?
Well, this, of course, is not climbing up. This is jumping across. But I will
more
say...
like, embed a Titan here.
In case he falls.
Oh, okay.
He's caught.
And then just like slowly work his way with 2 or 3 Titans, just slowly
Like
making his
tightrope.
way over. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I will say that you could try to jump across, and if you fell, you wouldn't take any damage.
Well, see, I did the math. It's physically impossible for him to actually jump across. He can go 4 feet.
Even with her jump spell?
Did he get?
No,
No,
he didn't.
she had
didn't get
one.
cast.
Yeah,
cast
she had
on it.
one. She had one left. That's why I
Yeah.
was.
He didn't get jump cast on it.
I'm gonna get across because I can make the gap if I jump it from straight across.
All right, so
Uh,
so she would take a python and the rope across, because I'm trying to figure out how you would get this.
I'm still over here.
I know. That's why I'm saying, how is this python going to get on the other side to help you across?
I got a question.
Jam one in on the side, hook the rope in, and then you climb across, holding onto the pipe.
Yeah, he's trying to scale the wall going across.
There is
side.
no wall. There is no wall.
There's
There's
this
a
isn't
gap.
a wall here. This isn't a wall here.
Oh, that! I thought you were
Yeah.
trying to jump.
I'm not over here. I'm over here.
Okay. All right. All right. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So that would be a dexterity roll for you. Dexterity.
Oh, thank God.
I'm gonna just gently nudge Jarlaxle over just a bit and be like, "Pardon me, I'm gonna make sure that he makes it across." And watching Epiphany, Nocari is going to be on the ready to, if she has to, grab for rope and help pull him up. She will do that.
Okay. But
So it's like if he throws the rope to her and does what he's planning on doing, she'll be like the brace in case he slips. So he won't immediately hit the floor.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
So give me your dexterity check.
Okay.
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics. It's not much better.
All the times you
Very terrifying, not very graceful or strong.
Yeah. You managed to not fall and climb back up on the platform that you left, but you're like, oh, no! I think I'll stay right here.
We have all decided to not continue this course of action. It is the first unanimous decision we have had in 6 months.
What was the last unanimous decision?
You do not wish
I
to
don't-
know, Vane Leaper.
I don't think that matters very much. The problem is getting him across to where we are if we need him.
As Vel jumps back, because this spell lasts for a minute, she says, quickly, run to me. I can get you across if you hurry.
All right, Cassian is just gonna leave Rell into his fate and jump over.
Why are you jumping back?
Oh wait,
She's
what?
talking to Epiphany.
Oh,
We are
Never mind.
incapable of jumping, Vane Leaper. Vane Leaper is your name.
Okay, she slaps you on the butt, and you are now, your jump distance is tripled.
Cool, my jump distance is... If I get 10 feet, it's going to be... there.
Yep, you got plenty of distance. And
Yay,
she very
8th grade.
quickly jumps back.
How long does jump last?
1 minute.
Epiphany just starts jumping. We
All
enjoy
right.
this. This is fun.
All right, do we have anybody? Oh, yeah, we're missing the 2 from downstairs. So do you guys wait for the others to get back up, or what do you do?
Ferris will go ahead and open one more door, and if it's the same thing, then he's just gonna go ahead and head up.
Which
I've
door?
already gone up.
Which door are you opening?
The one directly to the south.
Same thing.
Yep, I'm just gonna go ahead and start making my way back up then.
Okay, I'll pull you guys back up. Let me find where Lyric went. There he is.
I'm at the stairs.
Yeah, I just have to find you. I've got a lot of map to zip through here, and I'm trying to get you all back to where you belong.
I'm in the wall.
That puts you guys here.
I go to Varys. Rock, paper, scissors. Who goes first?
Is there a way over, or is there a way past the door?
They're inside the room already.
I think there might be a way through if they haven't bothered to come back out.
I'm rock, paper, scissors as to who goes first?
Yes, rock, paper, scissors. Who goes
Where
first?
is it? We will simply go first.
Sure.
Just
One.
direct us.
2, 3.
Hold on now.
That's a tie.
So 1, 2, 3, then go.
Okay. So
Paper.
on go
Okay.
and on three.
Epiphany's just gonna
One.
get it open.
2, 3.
Ah, dang it!
No. 1, 2, 3.
Go.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Where is this stupid door?
1,
Just be patient.
2, 3. Go.
Scissors and
Yes,
scissors.
Here, how about we just here? I'll roll 1d2. Pick a 1 or 2.
Epiphany,
One.
why don't you go inside and see what you can figure out?
2. You're
I'm
going.
Very well. Please handle the ones of limited intelligence.
No, dear. I'm going to let them have their fun. They don't get to play with people their own age very often.
It's like I told them.
That's exactly what's going on here.
Did Relian and Epiphany just become more mature than Varys and Lyric?
We've been more mature.
It's like I
We've
told
been more
them
mature.
Lyric is actually roughly the same age
Hey,
as Varys.
Epiphany has grandkids, okay? Like,
So, but yeah, you go
Varys
first,
and
Varys.
Lyric are, or rather, I suppose, not Lyric. Varys and Leorith are about 1 to 2 years apart.
Yeah. Probably closer to 1.
And Nocari's just watching. He's like, on the downside, I could tell both their parents how immature they were doing this entire thing. But unfortunately, we have to get one back from hell.
All right. So is Varys jumping?
Yeah. Standing long. I'm gonna have to make a roll because I don't have enough movement to get over there, or I have enough movement rather, but I don't have the.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
over.
give you the space.
Yeah, I mean you can get the 10 feet of distance to do your jump. What's your strength?
10.
All right, you can jump 30 feet.
I can.
Yeah.
Not with
Oh,
John.
no.
He doesn't have.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 10 feet.
Aim for the narrow part, where
Yeah.
there's a little
I'm
bit of-
aiming for it.
Don't go for the wide gaps, dude.
It looks like either I have to, and it is up to DM, but I will either have to jump across the wide part, or I can try from narrow part into narrow part. In which case, I won't have to roll for athletics, but I will have to roll for acrobatics to not then fall off the other side.
That's right.
So either
To
way, I'm
see
rolling.
how-
But my
to
acrobatics
see
is a
how-
lot better.
Twinkle toes you are when you land. If you can stick the landing, but you have you have the distance. Okay. Yep.
I was saying, Knocker's gonna be right there, so if they start to go off the other side, she's just going to grab them. It's
Now-
one of those things
I will allow the two of you to do the help action with Lyric to reach your hands out and try to grab him as he jumps across.
I may need it. I've been rolling pretty well with acrobatics, but this is going to be this is where I rolled the natural 1.
Varys is ready to catch.
19. With
Okay.
the help.
Yep, with the help you got it. All right, so all of you are now across to this room that appears to have nothing but something about secrets.
Okay. As Relian is starting to hear everyone gather and pile into the room, that's when he begins to... He's been standing in front of this painting, just staring at it for a while. And when he hears everyone starting to pile in, he just looks up at it and speaks in his normal voice, but still with the dwarven disguise. I wasn't always like this, and there are times where I wish I wasn't like this. There are times when I have moments of clarity that are quite unlike me, like now. That's when I don't like being me. Not really. The things I see, the things I hear, the things I know. Seen through a clear lens, it can be too much. and because of the knowledge of it all that my family hates me. It can really be too much. But thankfully, it never lasts. The lens clouds back over, and I slip back into blissful... I'm sorry, what were we talking about?
The painting on the wall, which was looking sideways, seems almost like an illusion to turn and look at you and smile. And just in front of you, right at your feet against the wall, the floor begins to part, and a trap door comes into view right at your feet.
I'm gonna go up behind Relian and clap him on the shoulder. Good work.
The door has no handle, but it slowly lifts about 4 inches where it could be grabbed.
Well, since I'm the dwarf here, Rell's just going to reach out and grab the section that looks like it's meant to be grabbed.
It lifts against the wall, if that's what you are doing, and you see a spiral staircase going down into a lower depth separate from the room that you can see that you came up from. It's a different area. There's a spiral staircase going into a new area.
Going down.
Being
I'll be right with
arrived
you.
at your floor.
All right, the dwarf Relian-ish person goes down through the dark to the bottom of a spiral staircase, and that's where you are standing. What are the rest of you doing?
Cassian is joining him.
I'm
Alright.
going to hold up the mace since it's giving off light and head on down, even though she knows people like Dralaxel and the Drow Buddy will not probably need it. Most other people can see in dark vision, but she's going to still at least be polite, just in case there's a little bit more dark than most people are ready for.
Having to kind of space you out just a little bit. Relian technically wouldn't be out in the hall, but I'm going to put him out there just to allow room for everybody here to gather around the campfire, as it were. Who's next down?
Epi.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put Esfel down, and Epi, and are the rest of you following suit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, Varus and Lyric. I'll put both of you at the same time. Down there. And then Jarlaxle and his buddy will be following you down, being very cautious at the end. All right. So the group of you are now down. The first one stepping out into the hall to give room is Relian, and Relian immediately spots an elderly dwarf. Now, you are still in dwarven form, I take it, right?
Yes. In fact, how long do you think it's been? How long do you think that floor took us?
Oh, I would say you probably took a good half hour, 45 minutes, so you're getting to the end of your illusion, but you're...
I'd say so. We still have about 30 minutes left. That's fair. Spine the dwarf. Rellin's just going to put on his best cheery dwarf smile, adjust his illusionary glasses, and just wave at him. Says, "Hello."
Oh, I've not had guests down here for a very long time. How long exactly? It seems like it must have been 10 years or so. Now, the dwarf does not look anything like anybody you've ever seen. He is certainly not a Duergar. Very definitely not a Duergar, although he has a relatively tanned-looking skin, more tan than you would expect for being down in the dark. His hair is flaxen. It is the color of pale spun gold or pale wheat, very pale yellow, and he has piercing eyes that study you. He is walking as if he is a bit elderly and stooped over, and he is walking using a staff or cane, which has a very twisted and odd, gnarled look to it.
You're looking mighty spry and healthy for a fellow who's been underground for 10 years, not seen the sun or fresh air for so long, but just chalk that up to, dwarvish blood and constitution, I suppose. But what are you doing down here, mate?
Oh, I was brought down here to maintain a certain vigilance, as it were, against people that shouldn't be here. What brings you down here, matey?
Well, to be perfectly honest, up top, there's been a lot of hullabaloo from a lot of bad sorts, and from what we could tell, they were planning to knacker their way into this here ruin that none of us up top knew was even down here, so we thought we might as well beat them to the punch and see what these blackguards were trying to suss up, as it were.
One of the things you notice as you're standing down here is it is as if there are motes of sunlight drifting around in the air, and they seem to like sparkle little beams of light that have a kind of a dusty, hazy appearance in all of these rooms. There's a degree of light wherever a kind of a cloud of these dusty motes are sweeping through and moving. And the room is abnormally lit. It's not brightly lit, but there is just a kind of an odd glow as if fireflies were flitting around, only it's these little motes of light that are floating in the air, and it's a very odd sensation of what you're seeing. And the dwarf kind of smiles at you, and he goes, "Aye, that's true. The area is a bit hard to find, as it were. We're not on the average tourist map. So I ask you again, what brought you down here at all?"
Well, like I told you, mate, these cultist chaps, they were attempting to bang in their way here, and we were a little curious why they were trying to knacker their way in here, and we thought we'd beat them to whatever horrible prize they might be trying to get into here.
I would like to cast Detect Thoughts.
All right.
Big old text thing. So concentration for a minute. I can focus on any one creature I can see within 30 feet. I initially learn surface thoughts, what's on its mind. As an action, I can either shift attention to another creature's thoughts or attempt to probe deeper. But if I do, we have a bit of a wisdom battle. And
All right. Surface thoughts are those of a dwarf.
Diggy hole.
They are dwarven in nature, but there is something wrong about the thoughts. Not in terms of what the thoughts are, but the nature of them and the way they are constructed. They don't have the thought pattern of a dwarf, although the image that is currently being projected in the surface thoughts is that of a dwarf, language of a dwarf, so forth. You get the feeling that the thoughts themselves are almost a construct.
okay. Should I probe deeper?
I'm calling this right now. It's either a golem or a dragon.
Well, I'll because if I try to probe deeper, it has a chance to figure out that I'm doing something. So I'll put that to a group vote.
Do it.
I mean, we're either going to be fighting it or it's going to be helping us, so one way or another, we're going to get somewhere.
Okay, yeah, let's probe deeper.
Okay, 1 second. I'm just checking for.
So, let's make a wisdom saving throw. Oh, that's gonna be fun. It's a
Yeah.
dwarf, at least. I'm expecting like plus 20.
Come here.
All right, so it does a wisdom save of only 11, which surprises me considering.
Oh, that fails. Yep.
Come here.
You sense powerful, vast, deep, and very, very ancient thoughts lying under the surface of this image of a dwarf. And the thoughts that stare back at you are reptilian.
Oh, you called that one.
Okay. Epiphany is going
We are less
to...
screwed.
Epiphany is going to...
Or more screwed.
Mentally ping Relian and Nocari in turn and let them both know. Because they're both the Draconic-y people. But especially Relian.
Oh, I've got something special for this.
Oh, that's right!
Okay.
You're like, my time has come.
Hold on. Where the hell is it?
Are you a Dragon Soul Sorcerer?
Yes.
You get advantage when talking to dragons.
Dragonoids in general, yes.
I believe it's advantage on persuasion checks specifically.
Any charisma check.
Any charisma
Right.
check.
Right. I'm going to ask you one more time, laddie. Exactly what are you here for? You're not here to tour the building. You're not here because there were cultists upstairs that you didn't like. What are you after, laddie?
I'm going to roll a perception check real quick because I know what this thing is and I know they're not exactly easy to fool. I want to see if it probably knows that I have an illusion on myself. Would that be possible?
Mm-hmm.
Probably an insight check.
Hold on.
Yeah, actually, it would be.
It would be
an
the
insight.
same. Oh,
Okay.
insight would be even better, but hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
It's exactly the same.
I think we're intended to have a 16. You can see a sparkle in its eye and a wisdom that far exceeds anything you would expect on a normal dwarf. This thing knows exactly who you are, and it is waiting for an answer. And that is where I'm going to leave it.
Oh, come on. Damn it. My time had come.
Aw.
Well, your
Well, I
time will
was-
come next week,
I was
apparently.
gonna say, if you can't figure out something to say, Sam, I had it
No,
lined up.
I've got something great planned to say.
All right.
I'm surprised you called that it was a dragon.
I mean, what else would you set to guard a treasure?
Hold on. So
This is the
this-
Vault of Dragons.
let me. This is why you guys need to let me do the talking next week.
I'm
that-
not.
That probably will be very useful.
Intimidate him.
Intimidate the dragon.
All right, so this is where we are going to leave it for this week. You have met this dwarf. If you ask his name, just so you have a name for it, he calls himself. Is the name on that? So there was a name that he called himself, but I can't.
It was a clearly non-dwarfish name.
Oh, actually, it was a pretty dwarvish name, but I don't seem to have my eye laying on it at the moment, which of course is typical. It's always not there when you need it.
Morgan the Thunder.
Barrack Clanghammer is what he calls himself.
Bennett Klinghammer. That's fairly dwarvish.
Mm-hmm.
It's also
Okay.
fairly onomatopoeia. Flying hammer.
Clang, clang.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so especially considering all the hammers and clanging upstairs, that probably is very much in keeping to what would be needed. So we'll see what you can do with talking with Barak Klanghammer next week on Crone's Crucible. So we are done with this part. You found your way down into the bottom of the Vault of Dragons. We'll see what
And
else awaits
we
you.
almost died.
Oh, you did.
All right, so I'll bid you good night from Crone's Crucible. Rellian, now that you have met this dwarfen counterpart or whatever, what kind of farewell do you have for us tonight?
Bye, everybody. And remember, I was taught to think before I act. So if I smack the crap out of you, rest assured, I've thought my actions through.
Good one.
Nice.
Yeah, I smack you with forethought, yeah. Good night. See you next week on Crone's Crucible, and we'll see what awaits our intrepid gang. Good night.
Good night.